So I hope you guys are having a good morning so far. Today we are focusing on some heart openers in our chest, focusing on the heart chakra, if you know anything about the chakras. If not, we're just doing lots of chest openers, shoulders, upper back, neck, all things like that. We are also working up to a pose called Camel, which is a very big back bend, but we'll make sure that all of the poses leading up to that really warm our bodies up and so that we are ready for that big pose towards the end of class. We are also working with a mantra today, and a mantra is a word, a phrase, or a sound. It's usually in Sanskrit, but sometimes it's in English, and it's a focal point usually for meditation or for yoga. So the one that we're working with today is called Anandam. Anandam is a Sanskrit word that translates to I am joy, contentment, I am peace, things like that. So really working in the heart center this morning. And when we get started, I want us to just start on our backs, and we're going to listen to a chant that's Om Anandam. So you'll hear it. It's all Sanskrit, and just try to keep an open mind, open heart with this practice today. So let's get started on our backs. Keep your feet as wide as your mat, and then drop your chest back. Let your knees come in towards each other. Bring both hands onto your heart, to your chest, and close your eyes here. We'll just stay here for a few moments, listening to this chant, bringing our awareness to our bodies, to the inside of the four corners of our mat. Keeping the eyes closed, bring your awareness to your breath. Pausing in the stillness. Allow your shoulders to get heavy. Release your arms by your sides. Drop the chest down. Release your weight into the mat. Start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, waking yourself back up. If you want to start that playlist, go ahead and do so now. And then we'll get started. So staying on our backs, walk your feet in so they're hips width distance apart. Your legs are parallel to one another. Your arms are by your sides. From here, take your right leg out in front of you. So the sole of the foot is facing towards the top of the mat. On your inhale, drag your feet up. So the sole of the foot is up towards the ceiling. You have a nice straight leg here. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly lower back down and hover at the ground. Yeah, so your heel isn't all the way on the mat yet. Inhale brings you back up. Keep that leg nice and straight. So only go up as far as your hamstring allows. Then on your exhale, slowly lower back down. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, bring your toes back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, drop them back down. Bring the right foot to meet the left and take the left foot out in front of you. Again, the toes are flexed back towards the face, so our leg is nice and strong and straight here. On your inhale, slowly come up. Sole of the foot comes up towards the ceiling. Pause. Exhale, slowly come back down and hover the heel. Inhale brings you back up. Nice and slow breath to movement here. Exhale to lower. One more. On your own. And then bring the left foot in to meet the right. Bring both legs in, give yourself a hug, start to rock from right to left. And then drop the legs back down, make sure they're nice and parallel to one another again. And then take your right leg up towards the ceiling and cross your right ankle on top of your left knee. So I like to take my ankle out actually a little bit farther than my left thigh so that the ankle bone isn't sitting right on my leg. And just pause here, let the right hip open up. You can stay here, or if you want more, you can start to walk your left foot back in, taking your left foot off of the mat, and then binding your hands around your shin or around the back of your thigh. Close your eyes here, breathe deep into the right hip. Starting our practice off nice and slow this morning. If you have that bind, release your foot back down, arms come back to your sides. When you're ready, inhale the right leg up high, and then exhale, bring it back down. Inhale the left leg, and then cross the left ankle over the right knee. Let the left knee open up. Pausing here just for a moment. Again, if you want more, start to walk your right foot back in towards your bum, and then take it off the mat, binding your hands around the right leg. If you have this bind, make sure you're not rounding in the back. So if you are doing that or your forehead is coming close to your left calf, just bring your foot back down, the right foot back down, and stay in this first variation. If you have the bind, release that now. Bring your right foot back down to the mat. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, bring it down. Keeping our feet hips width distance apart. Just shake out your hips. Make them nice and even on the mat, nice and grounded. And then take your arms out to a T to the sides, the palms face up. On your inhale, you're going to act like you're holding a big beach ball, bringing your fingertips together. And then on your exhale, slowly lowering the arms back down, building shoulder mobility here. Inhale, bring yourself back up. Exhale, slowly lower the arms. One more just like that. Inhale, come up, round in. Exhale, slowly lower. Right, from here, Bring your hands so your palms are facing down and they're by your sides. On your inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. And then on your exhale, slowly lower down. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. We're going to do 3 of these on our own. Inhaling up, exhaling down. 2 more just like that. One more. And then keeping the palms face down towards the mat. Press through the hands, press through the heels. As you inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling for bridge pose. Exhale, slowly lowers you back down, hips come back down. And then just windshield wiper the legs right to left, evening out the base of the spine. Bring your legs back up so they're parallel. Press through the heels, press through the palms. Inhale the hips up, bridge pose. Exhale, slowly lower. One more time, just like that. Inhale, press up. Exhale to lower. All right, now we're going to add in the arms. So as you inhale, pressing through the hips, lift your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, bring the arms back down, press the hips back down. The arms start first. So inhale, arms, hips, come back. Exhale, start with the arms, bring the hips back down. Great, so we'll do 3 more just like that on your own here. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to lower. 2 more. So when you're done with your last one, wrap your hands around the thighs rather than the shins. So just start to rock and roll up and down the spine. And then maybe on your 3rd or 4th one, you can come to a seated position. If that doesn't work for you, just make your way to a seat, whichever way. All right. Once we're in our seated position, bring your right hand to the right side of the mat. Inhale the left arm up and exhale it over to the right. Pause here, maybe close the eyes. And then come back up, press your left fingertips into the mat. Inhale the right arm, exhale over to the left. Really stretching through the fingertips, staying grounded in the hips. Bring yourself back up. One more time each side. Press your right fingertips into the mat. Inhale the left arm up and over. Then this time look up and under your left bicep, feeling your chest open. Pausing here. Bring yourself back up, left fingertips to the mat. Inhale the right. Exhale over to the left. On your next inhale, look up and under your right bicep, opening through the chest. And then come back through to center. So we're going to bring our hands behind us so our fingertips are towards our bum, but stay in the seated position. So if this is uncomfortable for your knees, just bring your knees up and your feet flat on the mat. So our fingertips are behind us, our arms are nice and straight. On our inhale, we're going to press up through our chest and look up towards the ceiling. And then you can practice kind of walking your hands back towards your bum and then away from your bum and just seeing which variation fits your needs. So which feels best on your shoulders, on your wrists, your chest. This is a big pose. And then we can also play with the neck a little bit here. So bringing our chin down towards our chest, and then nice and slow, tracing our chest, tracing our chin up towards the ceiling. Maybe dropping the neck back, maybe not, maybe just looking up. And then slowly walk your hands forward. Switch your legs, so whatever one was in front comes behind. For me, it's my left one. Bringing your fingertips back behind you, we're going to do the same thing. So again, just palming your way back, seeing what feels best for your chest. Maybe starting nice and far away, pressing through the chest, and then walking the fingertips up. And then once you find that juicy, good spot, just pause there and really lift through the chest, draw your shoulder blades back together. And then again, we can play with the neck here, bringing it down towards the chest, lifting it up, tracing the ceiling, drawing it back. And then slowly walk yourself back up. We'll bring both feet to the mat. Our knees are parallel to one another. Our feet are parallel. And then walking our hands back a little bit further than we had them in the first round, we're going to come into reverse tabletop. So if you want to look here first before you do it, feel free to go there. All we're going to do is inhale, press through the heels, press through the hands as we lift our hips up. And then with your neck, I like to drop mine back to just relieve tension, and then to come back down, we're just sinking our hips back into the mat. So we'll hold this for a little bit. On your inhale, press your hips up, reach up through the hips, drop the head back, pause here. This is going to feel really funky the first couple times you do this pose. On your exhale, slowly lower the hips down. And then bind your hands around your shins, tuck your chin in. And then walk your hands back behind you where they were. And just windshield wiper the knees from right to left. All right. Walking ourselves back up, just switch your legs around, coming to tabletop pose. So on our hands and knees. Our shoulders are above our wrists. Our hips are above our knees. There's space in between each of our fingers. And then we're actively rolling our weight in towards the thumbs and pressing our weight into the knuckle mounds of our hands rather than our wrists. From here, bringing the belly in towards the spine. Start to do a couple hip circles, bringing your hips back towards your heels. This warms up the wrists and the hips at the same time. Maybe close your eyes here. Find any organic movement, maybe rounding through the spine when you're coming up. Maybe dropping back to child's pose. Whatever your spine and your hips need. And then practice going the other way. Drawing our hips back and then pressing them forward. And then when you're ready, come back to stillness in tabletop pose. From here, inhale, drop the belly, tops of the feet are on the mat. Inhale, look up. Exhale, press your chin in towards your chest, round in through the upper back. Inhale, drops you back down, arch up, look up. Exhale, release, round in. Inhale, drops you back down for cow. Exhale to round for cat pose. Just do this a few more rounds. Again, adding any organic movement. I like to sway my hips from right to left. And then come back to neutral tabletop spine when you're ready. Tuck your toes. From here, press through the knuckle mounds of the hands and lift and hover the knees, hugging the belly in, activating the core here. Slowly lower the knees, back down. One more just like that. Inhale, press up and pause. And then on your exhale, shoot your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Walking your feet back slightly. Walk your hands out so they're as wide as your mat. And then walk your feet out again so they're as wide as your mat. Have a heavy bend in your knees here. Bring the tailbone up towards the ceiling as you press your chest down. This is one of the biggest poses in yoga, and we always see it in our yoga classes. So it's really important to take time in the beginning of our practice to really set up this grounding pose. Press the chest through the goalposts of the shoulders. The gaze is about halfway down your mat. And then walk your feet back in so they're hips width distance or maybe a little wider. The hands can stay where they are if it's comfortable like that, or if you want them shoulder width distance, feel free to go there. Again, pressing through the chest, having a heavy bend in the knees. Forget about the heels right now. Focus on your spine, your shoulders, lifting through the tailbone. Inhale, take a look forward. On your exhale, slowly walk to the top. Coming into our forward fold, hang here. Maybe shake the head no, nod the head yes. And then press your hands against your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your shoulders to the height of your hips. Exhale, slowly lower down, release the hands. And then on your next inhale, have a heavy bend in your knees as you slowly roll up to standing mountain pose, one vertebrae at a time. Your head comes up last here. Roll the shoulder blades back behind you, palms face forward. This is another basic grounding pose that's in every yoga class or almost every yoga class. So we want to press both of our weight evenly or both of our feet into the mat so our weight is even here. And then engage the kneecaps. So we're bringing them up towards our hips. We're engaging our quads, hamstrings, our glutes. Hug the belly in slightly. Tuck the tailbone under. Shoulder blades roll back behind you. Palms face forward. We can make this pose really active by engaging all of our muscles that keep us standing. Have a heavy bend in your knees. Slowly bind your hands around your low back. As you inhale, reach the fingertips down towards the mat as you reach your chest up. And then as you exhale, slowly fold forward, starting to straighten the legs slightly, keeping our hands bound at our low back. So you can stay here, or you can take your hands away from your back, letting your shoulders get a nice rinse. Again, letting the head hang heavy here. Slowly bring your hands back down, release them to the mat. Bring your fingertips to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift, create that flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands down and step back to tabletop. So coming back to our hands and knees, walking our hands so our wrists are underneath our shoulders. From here, inhale the right arm, peel your chest open to the right side of the room. And then exhale, take your hand in between your left wrist and left knee, bringing your right shoulder down, right temple comes down. Keep the toes tucked or leave them untucked. And then walk the left arm forward. You can also take this left arm at your low back. moment to slowly walk your left hand underneath your shoulder. Press through the left hand as you reach the right arm back up. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, fold back down, right hand comes to the mat. Inhale the left arm, peel open. And then exhale, thread it through, right wrist, right knee. Dropping the left shoulder down, left temple comes down. This is called thread the needle. You can walk this right arm forward or keeping it at our low back. Don't forget to breathe. Slowly walk your right hand back underneath your shoulder. Press up as you inhale. Take that left arm back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring it back down. From here, we're going to sit on our feet. So tuck your toes under so that you're coming back onto your heels. This pose is called toe stretch pose. And you can definitely feel it in your feet. So if you're feeling it, you're doing it. If you have any pain though, just bring your feet under, or you can just swivel your legs around, whatever works for you. We're going to come back to those side bends. So right hand comes down, inhale the left arm up and over towards the left. Should feel a little different when our toes are tucked here. Really reach through this left fingers. And then come back up, tuck the left fingers under, inhale the right arm up, exhale over to the left. You can come down onto your palm if you like on this left hand. And then slowly come back up. Come back to your tabletop pose. So the next pose we're going to do is puppy pose. So it is a little bit like tabletop and child's pose together. So what we're going to do is keep our hips nice and firm on top or stacked on top of our knees. So we really don't want to move our hips too much here, but you're just going to palm your way forward, palming your arms, walking them forward and dropping the chest down. The tops of the feet are pressed into the mat. Big stretch through the shoulders. The more time we hang out in this pose, usually the lower you can soften. Keep pressing the hips back so they're stacked on top of the knees. Deep breaths here. And then slowly walk yourself back to tabletop pose. Take your knees out as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes to touch and sink your hips down for child's. Walk your arms out in front. Deep breath in here. Deeper breath out. Let it go. And then come back to table. Take an inhale as you tuck your toes. On your exhale, reach up and back for downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, take a look up at the top of your mat. Slowly walk to the top. Inhale for that halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Then into the knees, arms circle, sweep up, reach tall, stand tall. And then bring your hands together, rest your thumbs on your chest. Pause here, take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, arms circle, sweep, reach tall. Then through the knees, flip the palms, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, press your hands against your shins. Exhale, plant your hands down, step your right foot back, and drop your knee down. And then just walk your left foot forward, so it's stacking, your knee is stacking on top of your left ankle here. When you're ready, keep your toes tucked or leave them untucked, whatever works for you, whatever helps you find a little bit more balance. From here, start to lift through the chest, through the belly, biceps frame the ears, sink back down. Deep breath in, reach through. And then exhale, sink and soften here. Take one more deep breath in. On our exhale, we're gonna bend our elbows, bring them to the height of the shoulders or maybe a little lower, palms face forward. So pausing here, on your next inhale, bring the shoulders back a little, lift through the chest, and maybe lift the gaze. One breath in. Exhale, fold forward, bring your hands back and step back to tabletop. Take an inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath in here. One breath out. Inhale, take a look forward. Exhale, slowly walk to the top. Inhale for a halfway lift, press your hands against your shins. Exhale, forward fold, then into your knees, arms circle sweep, reach tall. Hands come back down to prayer, thumbs rest on your chest. Anandam, contentment, joy, inner light. Inhale, arms circle sweep, reach tall. Exhale, bend through the knees, dive forward, forward fold. Put your hands in, take your left leg back this time, drop your left knee. Keeping our right knee stacked on top of our right ankle. Inhale, sweep the arms up, biceps frame the ears. Exhale, sink and soften. Take a deep breath in. On our exhale, bend the elbows, palms face forward. Next inhale, press through the chest, look up. Exhale, come forward, frame out the foot. Bring this leg around to tabletop. Take an inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we'll do that 2 more times, but this time we're going to lift our knees. So on your inhale, take your right leg up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, crunch your knee into your nose, and then drop the right foot down to frame out the foot. If it doesn't make it all the way to the top, that's okay. Just scoot your leg forward or help your hand or bring your hand around to help your foot up a little bit higher. Yeah. So once we're in this runner's lunge, we're going to hug our belly in to help us lift off of our leg. Biceps come back to the ears and then sink back down into this. If you're feeling really, really wobbly, you don't want to stay on this tightrope. So you might be a little bit too narrow. So maybe walking your right foot out a little bit to the right side of the mat, finding a little bit more balance here. Take an inhale, reach through the fingers. And then on your exhale, bend the elbows, palms face forward. If you're feeling a little crazy today, start to look up, bring the gaze up, drop the shoulders back. Inhale. Exhale, frame out the front foot, step back to downward facing dog. One breath here. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, take a look forward. On your exhale, slowly walk to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands to prayer. Thumbs rest on your chest. Your elbows are out wide here. Exhale, fold forward. Bend into your knees. Slowly roll all the way up to standing mountain pose. Shoulders come back behind you. Palms face forward. Pause here. Come back to your breath. Find even weight between the feet. Find your balance here. Inhale, arms circle sweep. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, take your left leg up towards the ceiling, and then bend the knee, crunch it in, knee to nose, step it through, left foot comes in between the hands. Again, walking that left foot forward just a tiny bit more so we're on track with our knee. Pressing through the shoulders, through the tummy, bringing your biceps back up, arms come back up. Again, if you're on that tightrope, walk your left foot over to the left side of the mat just a little bit more. Inhale, fingertips high. Exhale, palms face forward, bend through the elbows. Drag that back heel down towards the mat. It's still lifted though. On your next inhale, press through the chest. Again, look up if you'd like. Deep breath in. Exhale, frame out the front foot, step back to high plank. Coming into high plank, drop the knees or keep them lifted. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, all the way down to the mat. Elbows are in tight here. Tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale as you press up for cobra, lift through the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes, come back to table. Bring your knees out wide. Sink your hips down, child's pose. Maybe take a water break if you need. Now's a good time. Inhale brings you back up to table. Tuck your toes. When you're ready, downward facing dog. Taking 3 cleansing breaths here. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale, sigh it out. Let it go. Be as loud as you want here. Inhale deep through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. One more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Nice cleansing breath. Take a deep breath in as you look up. Exhale, slowly walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands down, step back to downward facing dog. All right, inhale the right leg high. Crunch the knee in, bring it in. Come back to that runner's lunge. Left knee is high. Inhale, the arms sweep up. Exhale, cactus the arms out to the sides. Elbows come down, palms face forward here. On your next inhale, press through the chest. Maybe have that slight back bend looking up. Exhale, ground the hands back to the mat. Step back to a high plank. From here, knees are lifted or bring them back down to the mat. And then this time, bring your hands out to the sides of your mat so they're nice and wide. Inhale, shift forward, bend through your elbows as you lower all the way down. That one feels a little different. From here, bring your fingertips, keep your hands where they are, bring your fingertips to the mat or to the floor. As you inhale, press through your fingers, lift through the chest. Exhale, fold down. We'll do one more just like that. Inhale, press up. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press up for cobra this time, elbows hugged in nice and tight. Exhale, back down, tuck the toes, bring yourself to table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg high. Bend the knee, step it through. When you're ready, rise, crescent lunge on the left side. Inhale here. Exhale, bend through the elbows, palms face forward. Sink down. Press the hips forward. As you inhale, lift through the chest, maybe lift the gaze, small back bend here. Exhale, frame out the front foot. Step your foot back, this time downward facing dog. Take a look forward, hop or step to the top of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Take your feet out as wide as your mat. Have a heavy bend in your knees here. Lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling as you drop your head down. From here, you have 2 options. You can bring your peace fingers, which is your first finger and your middle finger, around your big toes, hugging in, or box out the arms, grab either elbow, let your head hang heavy either way. If you have your toes around, your fingers around your toes, bend through the elbows. Let the elbows come out to the side as you drop your head down. And then either way, release the bind. Bring your feet back in so they're hips width distance. Slowly roll all the way up to standing mountain Tadasana pose. Roll the shoulder blades back. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Bind the hands together other than the pointer finger. Biceps frame the ears. The belly is in tight towards the stomach or towards the spine as you reach over towards the right side. Inhale brings you back up, reach taller. Exhale over to the left. Inhale, come back up, release the hands, palms together. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands down, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, step it through. Before we rise, we're coming into warrior one. So the difference between what we just did was crescent one, so our heel was nice and high. Now we're going to spin that back heel down and make sure that the left toes are reaching up towards the left corner of the mat. Bending heavily in to our right knee. Start to sweep the arms up and sink back down. So our hips are nice and straight, reaching towards the front of the room. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Feel how this lunge feels different than the crescent. When you're ready, take your bind around your low back. Inhale, press through the chest, look up. And then exhale, take that right shoulder to the inside of the right knee. Try not to press all of your weight into that right knee. Maybe take your abs, your stomach a little bit away from the leg. Inhale, bring yourself back up. Hands come back up. Exhale, frame out the front foot, step back to plank. Lower the knees here or keep them lifted. Inhale, shift forward. Elbows in close to the rib cage as you lower down. Inhale for cobra, press the tops of the feet into the mat. Maybe lift the hands. Exhale, tuck the toes, come back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deeper breath out, let it go. Inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, step it through. Coming back to that warrior one, spin the right heel down so the right toes are pointed up, right corner of the mat. When you're ready, engage the belly, lift the chest, lift the belly, arms come up last. Exhale, sink and soften. Deep breath here. When you're ready, bind your hands around your low back. Inhale, reach the fingers down towards the mat as you lift the chest. Exhale, left shoulder inside the left knee. It's okay to be shaky here. That means you're building muscle memory. Inhale, sweep the arms back up. Exhale, frame out the front foot, step the foot back. This time, drop your knees, come back to child's pose. Knees are nice and wide. And then walk your fingers over to the right side of the mat, dropping yourself back down, feeling through the right side body. If you want more here, through the left side body. If you want more here, take your right hand and grab your left wrist and just pull your arm gently over a little bit more towards the right. Should feel a nice big shoulder opening here. And then slowly look up, walk your hands over to the left side, dropping yourself back down, feeling that big stretch on the right side body. If you want that deeper stretch, take your hands around your right wrist this time, pulling your arm a little bit further away. And then slowly walk yourself back to child's pose. Take both hands to prayer so your palms are together. And then rest your thumbs on the nape of your neck or on your head. And then take your hands back down towards the mat and just walk your hands back so you're sitting on your feet. From here, we're going to come into our big pose of the day of camel pose. So I want you to just watch for a little bit, and then we'll do a few exercises, and then we'll get into it. So camel pose, our first one that we're going to do is bringing our hands to our bum. Our fingertips are facing down, and our elbows are nice and close together, so you can automatically, once you pull the elbows close, you can feel your chest lifting up already. Tops of the feet are into the mat. You can also tuck your toes if you want a little bit more height here. And then you're just going to start bending back, looking up towards the ceiling, and then pulling yourself back up. So that's our first one that we're going to do. The full camel pose is coming all the way back, dropping the hands down, pressing through the chest, and releasing the head back. But for now, let's start with that first one. So keeping the toes tucked or leaving them untucked, hands come down so your pinkies are almost together. Fingertips are facing towards your knees. And then really draw back the elbows and lift through the chest. From here, trace your chin up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. And then small sips of air. And then start to slowly straighten through the spine. Sitting back down onto our feet. Releasing the arms, maybe shaking it out. Maybe doing a couple shoulder rolls, and then come back up. Hands come back down here. We can stay here, or we can come into that full camel if you're ready. So whichever way, press through your hips. Press your hips forward as you reach your chin up towards the ceiling. Pausing here. If you're ready, start to come back a little bit further. Trust yourself. And then start to bring your hands down to meet your ankles. Really press through the hips here, dropping the head back. We're going to come out the same way we came in. So first, tuck your chin in and start to slowly come back to your hips. And then bring your hips back down to meet your feet. Couple shoulder rolls. Maybe shaking out the spine a little bit. Come back to table, actually. And then just start to do those hip circles from one way and then the other. This should feel good. Add any organic movement in. Closing the eyes, feeling through the spine. And then go the other way. All right. Then pause in table and come back up. We'll do camel one more time, and then we'll slow down the practice and end with Shavasana. So if you want to stay in that first variation, go there, bringing the hand to the hips or the low back, and then reaching to the chest and starting to slowly lower down. Or camel, lowering all the way down, dragging the hands to the heels. So it's small sips of air here. You're not going to get very deep breaths when we're doing this. This is a very vulnerable, open pose, so be easy on yourself here. And coming up whenever you're ready, just coming out nice and safe. Back to the same position we started, and then sinking our hips down when you're ready. Doing a couple shoulder rolls. We're going to start to swivel our legs around, bringing our feet back to the mat, coming back to constructive rest, where we started in the beginning of practice. So knees come in towards one another. You can have your hands on your heart if you'd like, or one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Whatever feels good for you today. Come back to that mantra, Anandam. Inner bliss, joy, contentment. We have this light inside of us at all times to come home to. Quiet space within ourselves. Then when you're ready, start to release the hands to the mat and bring your feet in. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs and start to sway from right to left. And then coming into happy baby pose, so bringing the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, and then drawing our knees in close to our armpits. Bringing your hands to your shins or to the inside of your feet. Letting the weight of your hands pull your knees down. Big hip flexor stretch here. If you want to rock your baby, start to rock from right to left. You can also straighten the right leg, bending into the left, and then vice versa. Or just pausing in stillness. This is our last pose before Shavasana. When you're ready, bring the knees back into the chest. On your inhale, round through the spine. Bring your forehead to your knees. Get tight like a ball here. And then exhale, slowly lower all the way to your mat. Let your arms come out by your sides. Let your legs fall down to the earth. Your palms can come up towards the ceiling or they can face down onto the mat. Starting to let go here, feeling weight in our chest, in our hips, our thighs, even our ankles. Just letting it all go here. When you're ready, start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, bringing your awareness back to your breath, back to your body. And then going nice and slow here, rolling over to the left side, hugging our knees in close to our chest, cradling your arm like a pillow. Take a moment to do the most important thing you will do all day. Extend your deepest gratitude for this moment and for all the many blessings which bring you joy in life. Practice gratitude towards yourself for taking out time in your Saturday to take care of you. Stay in the present moment. With your eyelids heavy or your eyes closed, push yourself up to a seated position. Bringing your hands together, your thumbs rest on your chest. Elbows are out wide here. Bow your chin down. Know that you have this light inside that is filled to the brim with joy, contentment, and love. Know that the choices that you make define who you are far more than your abilities. Thank you for choosing to practice your yoga with me today. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, I'll stick around for a couple minutes. If you liked that, please let me know. I spilled my water during Shavasana, so I got to clean that up. Also, if you liked this class and you want more of a